Welcome, everybody. I'm really excited about our Can Capital webinar today. This webinar's timing is perfect. I'm sure every single one of you are now thinking about your planning for the holidays, and Jean will be sharing with us some tips and advice on how we really make the holidays really effective for our business. Just before we get the webinar going, at the bottom of your screen, you will see a little Twitter icon, and to the left of that, you'll see a little chat icon. I encourage you just to click on that, and then a panel will open up with a group chat. And in the group chat, you can ask any questions. So as we go along, if you've got any questions relating to your business, feel free to post them in the chat column. And then what we'll do at the end of the webinar, we'll leave some time for Jean to answer some of these questions. So feel free to do that. Just before we get going, in the chat column on the left-hand side, so remember to press the little red icon so the panel opens up. Tell us what city you're from. So give us an idea of what city you're from. There you go. You can see we've got people from right across the country. And when you've got questions during the webinar, please feel free to post the questions in the chat where you're putting in what city you're from. There you go. We've got some people from the West Coast, some from the East. Excellent. Also, if any of you would like to tweet, we encourage you to do that. Our hashtag for today's webinar is CanWebinar. I'm going to share it with you in the chat column now. So as we go along, if you'd like to tweet, feel free to do that. Just use the hashtag CanWebinar on Twitter. Next question is, tell us what business you're in. So in the chat column, give us an idea of what industry or what business you're in. And feel free to post it in the group chat. And it'll give us an idea of, there you go. So we've got quite a lot of retail type businesses, restaurants. Excellent. So for a lot of us, the holiday is an important part of our business. And we want to make sure that we're ready. And Jean's going to share with us some tools, technologies, and strategies to prepare our small business for the holidays. Interesting topic. We encourage you to participate. We encourage you to get involved. We really want you to get some value out of this webinar today. So we can see that we've got quite a range of businesses online, quite a large group online today. Okay, so I'm going to get the webinar going. I'll start off by introducing Jean, and then Jean will take over and share with us some of his advice and guidance on how to really get ready for the holidays this year. So our webinar today is brought to you by Can Capital, and our topic is tools, technologies, and strategies to prepare your small business for the holidays. And our guest presenter today is Jean Marks. Let me tell you a little bit about Jean. Jean writes daily for the Washington Post and weekly for Forbes, Inc. He also writes for Entrepreneur Magazine and Huffington Post. And the topics he writes on are business management and technology. So really what we need to learn. He's also the president of the Marks Group, a 10-person consulting firm specializing in sales and marketing technologies for small and mid-market size companies. So a business owner just like us. Jean is also the author of 6 books, and his most recent book, In God We Trust, Everyone Else Pays Cash. So we've got an experienced business owner, an experienced presenter. Jean, take it away and share with us some of your experience and knowledge.
Andrew, thank you very much. I appreciate you doing this, and thank you to Can Capital for sponsoring this event. Everybody, welcome to this webinar. We are going to go up until about the top of the hour. I'll stop about 15 or 10 minutes before, and like Andrew said, had taken your questions. If there's anything that you miss, Remember, this webinar will be saved for future viewing on BizLaunch's website as well. So the issues that we want to talk about is this. As I'm speaking today, we're here in August. We're just a week or two in front of Labor Day here in the U.S., and a lot of people, particularly retailers, online merchants, are looking to get themselves together for the holidays. The holidays represents an enormous percentage of your year's sales, which, by the way, one of the themes I hope you'll walk away from in this presentation is that it shouldn't be as big a percentage as it is if you do the right things now. So what are the right things? Well, let's talk and start getting into some of this stuff. And again, post some questions if you do, and I'll try to answer these at the end. First of all, true or false? 30% of consumers who are searching for your business from their mobile device will either call or go to you within 24 hours. Not asking for a question here. Sometimes I get this live in front of a group. But think about yourself. Do you think that's true or false? 30%, almost a third of consumers will do that. Actually, the answer is false. It's 88% of consumers who are searching for your business from their mobile device will either call or go to you within 24 hours. 88%, and this is what that means. It means this: getting found before the holidays. You must have a mobile website. If you haven't done this already, you need to get there now. I don't know if you know this or not, but there are over 400 million mobile users in the United States alone, which seems like a lot because our entire population is only 330 million. But listen, I got that number off the internet, so work with me on this, okay? There's a lot of mobile users. And when they're searching on their mobile devices, which most of us are, the algorithm that's used on the mobile device is different from the algorithm that's being used on a laptop or a PC or a MacBook. It is looking for mobile optimized sites first. Is your website mobile optimized? If it is not, that's something you need to do now so you're prepared for the holiday traffic. If you want to do that, and you should be doing that, check out I love a company called Duda Mobile. They provide great mobile websites. They also go just by Duda. And then also GoDaddy and other website providers. Talk to whoever is hosting your website. Many of them now offer services where they will create a mobile version of your website. Absolutely something that you have to do. And by the way, while you're doing this and you're trying to get found online, check out Google My Business and Yahoo and Bing. Do you ever notice when you go to Google, you search for a store or a business and a whole bunch of information about them comes up on the right-hand side, like when they were founded and a description and who runs the business and whatever. And you're thinking to yourself, my God, who do these guys know at Google to get this kind of listing? They don't really know anybody. You go to Google My Business, you're going to spend about a half an hour or so with, online completing information about your business. It's nothing that nefarious. It's nothing that private or confidential. But then it gives you enhanced search results online. By the way, Yahoo and Bing also have competing services, Yahoo Business and Bing Places. And Bing itself, don't discount them. Bing accounts for almost a third of internet searches that are going on online right now because Bing is an underlying search engine to major social media providers as well. You don't realize that, but it is providing that search technology, not necessarily Google. So go to all three of those places and make sure that your business is properly signed up and recognized there. You want to make sure that your website is getting linked by others. You want to make sure there are meta tags on your website as well. Search engine optimization. Now is a really, really great time to look for a search engine optimization consultant or person. I recommend that you go to either a site like Elance or Guru. Both of those sites are now been combined into one company called Upwork. And you want to look at them and see if you can find a good independent contractor that specializes in search engine optimization. Elance, Guru, or Freelancer is another one. Those are three places to look for a good search engine optimization person. The whole point is get your website mobilized. Make sure you're getting found by other people. It is crucial to make sure that you've got that happening before the holiday season starts. Now, in addition to that, if you're going to be getting online, if you're going to be selling online, there are certain pieces of technology and services that I'd like to share with you. I mentioned earlier Elance. Again, the name has been changed. They've merged with Google. They're called Upwork, but you can still find them as Elance for outsourced photographers, designers, search engine optimization experts that can help you out. Another great service, which I have a lot of clients loving and talking about, is Google 360 View. will cost you a couple $100, maybe $300-400 actually, to get a certified Google 360 view photographer out to your location. Let them come and do their thing, and what will happen is when somebody finds your business on Google Maps, you'll see a little arrow that will say to go inside, and when the user chooses to go inside, they can literally, well, virtually, walk inside your store and get a whole 360-degree panoramic photographic view of your business using Google 360 View, a great way to attract people to your store, whether you're a brick-and-mortar store or even if you're looking to sell stuff online. In addition, I love Lexity. Lexity is a service that's owned by Yahoo. And what Lexity does is retargeting. And what that means is this. If you sign up for Lexity, and again, you can find these places by Googling them. If you sign up for Lexity, when somebody visits your website using Lexity's service is going to drop a cookie down onto their computer. Happens all the time. It's happening to all of us, to a lot of sites. Do you ever, for example, do you ever go to Expedia and you'll book a trip to Chicago and then 2 weeks later you're surfing on ESPN and you'll start getting ads recommending hotels and restaurants in Chicago and you're like, how the heck do these guys know that I'm going to Chicago in another week? Well, Expedia downloaded a cookie to your website and they're targeting ads at you. That's what Lexity does. It's retargeting. So you can drop that cookie, and then what happens, even if people don't buy from you and they leave you, you can then create ads on major sites. Lexity provides them all over, all the main sites around, so that when they visit those sites, you can target ads right back to them. Because if somebody visited your site at one point, there had to be some interest. Maybe they weren't ready to buy. You want to make sure they're getting a little bit of a ping from you once in a while, just to make sure they're thinking about you and might prompt another sale. So that's a really cool service that I recommend that you check out. Another one that I like, BigCommerce.com. The only reason I bring that up is there may be a few of you on this call who are just starting out, just want to set up an online store for the first time, or maybe you hate your online store and you want to scrap it and start from scratch. BigCommerce.com is a really, really great service. It provides a bunch of templates, a bunch of payment options as well, integrates into your website. Very easy, very inexpensive. It's just a great place to go if you're first time trying to get that online store set up. I like it a lot. And finally, of course, there's Google Analytics. These are all the types of things that your webmaster is going to want to be looking at and you can look at to see how many people are visiting your store, your site, what they're clicking on, what they're viewing on. All of this you want to have up in place because you want to analyze your traffic both before, during, and after the holidays to see what you were doing right and what you want to improve on for 2016. Now, besides getting online, we talked a little bit about advertising, but let's talk a little bit more. I love AdAgogo or Dropin.io. These are mobile advertising services. Very inexpensive. They will offer you up 5,000 views of your ad for only $100. What you do is you select your local radius. So if you're in the Cleveland or the Philly or the Miami area, you can select websites in those areas that have a lot of traffic in those areas. You can connect your website or your Facebook page there as well. We'll do all mobile ads so that people are getting these ads no matter what device they're on, and they're mobile optimized. So when they're searching and doing things on a site, they'll be seeing mobile ads for your business directly through their tablet or their iPhone or their Droid. And it's very easy to set up, has a mobile version, a desktop version, very, very good. If you want something more, I like LocalVox and DemandForce are two great services that not only provide the advertising, but then they also go bumps beyond. They provide, additional services, SEO, search engine optimization, and email services, and content for you, and reputation management, and surveys, all that kind of stuff for a little bit of an extra monthly fee. But they're both two very excellent, all-in-one services. DemandForce, by the way, is currently owned by Intuit, the guys that bring you QuickBooks and TurboTax, although Intuit, I just read this week, has expressed an interest in spinning off some of its non-core businesses, DemandForce being one of them, which could be a good thing, depending on whoever picks it up and decides to develop it. So the question is, what have we learned so far? And what we have learned is this. You should have a mobile website before the holidays. You should make sure you have an online presence or store presence as soon as possible so that you're prepared for the holidays, and you want to begin your advertising now. These are the kinds you want to be thinking of right now as I'm speaking, we're at the end of August, and you want to have a plan for moving forward with some of these services so that you are in good shape as we head into the holiday season. You want to get your mobile searching done, and you want to be good online. Get that together right now. Okay, let's move on. Now, in addition, we talked about online. Let's go in-store for a little bit. Let's say you're running a shop. Let me talk about some really, really cool technologies that are awesome that you should know about in your store. One of them I like to promote is called ShopKick, a wonderful service that targets your in-store shoppers with coupons. So you sign up with ShopKick, and it's shooting out those coupons directly to their mobile devices. ShopKick has signed agreements with some big major retailers. I believe Macy's is the one that was the big one that they did, where they're putting in beacons all around their store. So once you sign up with either ShopKick or Macy's or a branded mobile app that you will soon be downloading, you can say, yeah, I sign up and I give you, an opt-in, permission. Once you walk into a Macy's store, ShopKick is going to be delivering you coupons for wherever you are in the store with incentives to buy depending on what your prior purchasing history is. Well, ShopKick can do that for your business as well. Not too tough to set up those beacons. It can also just be done directly over the web, but you can target those people walking into your store with their mobile devices, issue them some coupons. But think about it. You're going to have more traffic in the next few months than you'll have the rest of the year. Try and give these people incentives to buy more stuff, and I like ShopKick a lot to do that. Another place I like is Shop Perception. This may be a little overkill, only because it's mostly used by larger retailers. But just so you know, this is the kind of technology that's out there. Shop Perception does the same thing. It tracks, based on mobile usage inside your store, where your customers are throughout the store. And big box retailers are using it to see where the traffic is going, what aisles, what parts of the store, what product lines, and what products are generating the most attention. So it's kind of a cool thing to do just in store. In addition, you're looking at payments. These are all the services that are going to allow you for doing, first of all, point-of-sale transactions. Shopify, ShopKeep, Intuit has got a great personal point-of-sale device. These are all mobile POS solutions. These are all solutions that you're going to use to enable your people to walk around the store. The cash register is gone, folks. You've seen it already when you go to certain restaurants now and things like that, places like the Apple Store. Your store, too, in the future is going to have iPads held by your store associates who are going to be walking around helping customers face-to-face and ringing up the sale while they're out there instead of people waiting in line to pay. And Shopify, ShopKeep, Intuit, Moog, all these are mobile point-of-sale systems that you're going to be using and should consider using to increase the flow and increase customer service this holiday season. And in addition to that, you're going to want to get paid. So keep an eye out for these payment services, right? Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Square, PayPal. This week, actually, the rumor is that Android Pay is coming out, another competitor to Apple Pay. Ultimately, your customers will be making payments with their mobile devices. It is a given that it's going to happen. It is still being slow to adopt, and frankly, this holiday season probably will not be a major player. So you can get away with still taking credit cards or cash. But prepare yourself, because changes are coming and mobile devices are going to be used to be paying more and more, and this might be the time, depending on where you live or what promotions you want to give, that you want to look into these services so when a customer comes and wants to pay with their iPhone, you're ready to accept those payments. And by the way, speaking of accepting payments, be aware of this. There are some new rules coming down for anybody taking credit cards from their customers in their store or place of business. You really are required. This is not a law. It's not legislation. But the credit card industry is telling everybody, particularly merchants and small businesses, that effective this October, if you do not have point-of-sale devices in your store that can accept cards with those new EMV chips, those secure chips that are on our credit cards, if you are unable to accept them and fraud occurs for once and going forward, you are going to be liable for any type of fraud issues or liabilities related to that. So what does that mean for you? It means this. you've got to look at your point of sale equipment and make sure that it can accept any of these EMV cards, which are now being sent to everybody in this country. Those are the cards with the little secured EMV chip. If you do not have point of sale equipment that's compliant, you could be held liable for any fraudulent transactions. The credit card industry is going to come down pretty hard, which means you may need to upgrade your point of sale equipment sooner rather than later. Look into that. Talk to your technology support person who provides you with point of sale stuff. This is the kind of thing that shopkeepers have to be looking at, particularly now as we go into the holiday season. Okay, so we talked about some technology to be used. Let's talk about a few sort of low-tech things, right? I mean, like, I'm not saying I'm any kind of a retail, consultant or genius here, but I've picked up a few things through my research and speaking and writing over the years that I've seen work for merchants and store owners, just low-tech things that will help drive more sales for the holidays. So you want to keep these in mind as you start attracting customers. Number one, place high-margin items by the front door. That's why you see when you're checking out at the big retail stores, there's the candy and the gum and the other stuff that's right by where they buy for a penny and sell for 50 cents. It's their high-margin stuff. It creates impulse buys. Put that stuff near your front door. That's what all analysis and reports say to do. In addition, place your biggest sellers in the back of your store. That's the reason why when people go into the supermarket, you'll always find that the milk and the cheese and even the bread is all the way in the back of the store, because the supermarkets want you to come in and walk all the way through their store, hopefully picking up a few other unanticipated items on your way to get the necessities. So put those biggest sellers somewhere in the back. More people are likely to buy from the right side of the aisle. Who knew, right? But this is what studies have shown. So depending if you have any slower selling items or items that you're trying to move more than the other, the right side of an aisle tends to get the people that buy the more. So think about your product mix and where they should go and know that it's on the right side. You'll get more people looking at it. And also, more people are likely to buy items at eye level. This is why there are, again, consultants from Procter & Gamble and all the large food companies that pay big dollars to get premium shelf space in supermarket stores and department stores, because when you look at something at eye level, you are more inclined to buy it than something that you have to look up or very far down for. So that's another thing to keep in mind. In addition, again, we're here, low-tech things. Wait, let me go backward. I think I might have skipped a slide, and I don't want to do that. Here, hold on for a second, guys. Yes, touching increases the sale probability. Now, please, Can Capital have a heart attack if I didn't at least say, we don't mean you touching the customers, okay? No touching of the customers. That's not what I mean here. What I mean is that when customers get to touch product, it increases the probability of a sale. People like to use all the senses that they possibly can to make your products available to do just that. A $20 item, remember, is a bargain next to a $40 item. So if you put those sort of higher priced things, similar items, but you've got one at 40 and one at 20, people will tend to get the $20. They'll think they're getting a bargain. So you want to make sure that you've got those kinds of items there that you're pushing with enough margin. You can sell more of them by throwing a higher priced item right next to it. Even if you have no intention of selling a lot of them, it'll push the lower priced item more. Warm hues like red, orange, yellow draws people into your stores. That's just done by years and years of research. So look at the coloring that's going on in your store. Blue and green colors encourages spending. That's also done by years and years of research. And the more crowded your store is, the less people are going to buy. And that's why sometimes you walk into some of these stores. I do that myself. I'll walk into a store, there seems to be just a lot of excess space. Best Buy is a perfect example of that. I mean, it's just big boxes, whatever. But the way it is that the more people that are crunched in together in a store, the more chances are that people are going to throw it down and say, forget it, I'm out of here, this is ridiculous some way. So you want to have as much space as you can possibly afford within your store. Just a few more things. Limited offers creates urgency, so holiday sales, pre-holiday sales, one-day sales, things like that can create an urgency, which is pretty good. The checkout line is the most profitable area of your store. That gets back to my first piece of advice. We're putting those higher margin items on the way out while you're at checkout. And one final thing, more people buy when they are with friends. So the more you can do educational events, I'm going to mention this a little later, other kinds of things where people can come into your store with their friends, the more people will buy when they're with their friends. And that goes to why certain check-in services like apps like Foursquare are very popular, because you can check in with a friend when you're at a store and invite a friend to join you. And then when they join you, and there's more people together that like each other, the more people tend to buy all at one time. So those are some of the in-store things. One final thing I want to make sure I talk about when we talk about selling is loyalty programs. You're looking towards, the holidays. Loyalty programs have proven to be a huge boost to sales if they're implemented the right way, and now is the time to do that because we're in August before the holidays. You'll want to make sure you get a loyalty program for your store that's more of a mobile app instead of cards, right? It uses past spending to determine future coupons. A program that will accumulate points and calculate a discount and then offer benefits depending on what your points are, giving you a discount, or accumulate points that you can use at other partners as well, which is very important to do so that you can share the cost, promote other partners and other retailers, and hopefully they'll be promoting you as well. And finally, you want to accumulate your customer info with a good loyalty program that you could put into your customer relationship management system, which I will mention shortly. But those are all the benefits of a good loyalty system. So these are 4 that I like and I recommend. Belly, Affinity Solutions, Perka, and Reward Loop, all good ones that I've used in the past and clients have used in the past. Very, very good loyalty programs. But if you just Google loyalty programs, particularly mobile loyalty programs, you will find a lot of really good options to consider. Okay, so what have we learned? You should have a mobile website before the holidays. You want to make sure you have an online presence now, right? As soon as possible, even a store as soon as possible, but you got to make sure you got yourself online with all the services, clean yourself up. Begin your advertising now. Consider using some of the services for mobile advertising as well as online advertising. And upgrade your technology, right, inside your store. Consider things like Lexi that we talk about, or Google View 360, or even in your store, your point of sale systems, your payment systems. These are all different. Your point of sale systems need to be EMV compliant. These are all things you need to be doing now before the rush starts before the holidays. And don't forget those low-tech advices that I gave you before. Remember, no touching your customers, but customers do like to touch your product, and they like product at eye level, and they like warm hues, and they will tend to buy more stuff when it's on the right side of the aisle. All those different things will help generate more sales for you during the holiday systems. And finally, have a good loyalty program for after the holidays. So even as people join up and they're taking advantage of it, because you're going to have a big influx of customers coming through your store during the holidays, you want to make sure they're coming back. And having a good loyalty program helps bring people back. They'll choose your store over the other guys if they know they're going to get a discount or some points or some rewards because they've been a good customer in the past. All right, still some more to talk about. I mentioned earlier about CRM, so I do want to talk for a few minutes about capturing everything in your CRM system. Very, very important to do, and let's talk about what CRM is. These, by the way, are the major players that are out there for CRM. I'll talk about them in a minute, but let me first just explain why a CRM is so important, and more importantly, what it is, right? A CRM is a database. It's just a database. In some cases, you can have that database in your store or in your place of business. In other places, you can have it hosted by somebody else. CRM is a multi-billion-dollar market. Most of the big players today and the popular ones are cloud-based applications. These are some of the ones that I love and I see all the time. Act and Goldmine are more known for being on-premise. So you can buy a CRM software like Act or Goldmine, stick it on your computer or your server. You pay one time for it. They're both like a few $100 a user. You then own it. You can work it. It's good. No monthly fees, no nothing, and they work great. And so there's a lot of small business owners I know that like to get a little Act and Goldmine. But the other ones here are all cloud-based databases, right? Nimble and Sightly, Zoho, Sugar. They're all like in the $20 to $40 a month range, depending on the services you want. And then there are the bigger players, Microsoft Dynamics CRM is inside of Microsoft Outlook. It's about $65 a month a user. Sage CRM, a great online product that integrates with Sage accounting products. And then, of course, there's Salesforce.com, which most people know is the biggest brand name in CRM, but also kind of pricing. Its comparative version is about $125 a month a user for Salesforce CRM. So all of these are players that are out there. All of these are ones that are being used. There are plenty of other really good CRM applications around, but these are the ones that I just see being used the most. Now, why do you want a CRM system? I mean, why do I even talk about this? You want to be collecting data for during and the holidays and before, because you want to be thinking about after the holidays, which means that when you have customers coming into your store, if you upgrade your point of sale systems to some of the ones that I've mentioned earlier, from Intuit to ShopKeep to all the other good ones that are out there, or if you're collecting payments from your customers on a mobile service, be it PayPal or Apple Pay or Google Wallet, or if you're using a loyalty program that I mentioned, one of the mobile loyalty programs, or if you just do it manually, if you just have a little bowl at your cash register to put a business card in or to fill out a form to be on our mailing list or our newsletter list, you want to be collecting information from the people coming into your store. You want to get their name, their address, their email address if possible, and you want to be giving them something back, which I'll talk about in a minute. But whatever information that you collect goes into your CRM system. It's a database. That database should ensure that whoever touched your business is there in your system, because you want to be reaching back out to those customers. You don't want people falling through the cracks. You want to be staying in touch with them. You want to be offering information, deals, education, content in the future. You want, when they walk into your store, your place of business, that whoever sees them at the register, they're in their CRM. They're, oh, hi, Mrs. Smith. I see you were in here 2 months ago buying that flowery vase. What do you think of it? Is that good? So that people feel like they're appreciated. They're part of a community. They're recognized. This is all part of what a CRM system does. It makes sure that nothing falls through the cracks going forward, and that nobody looks like a dope when it comes to your customers. You want them coming in, and you want your employees to recognize them and know them and make them feel part of the community. So a good CRM system will do that. It will also create value for your business as well. A good CRM system, because it's a database and because it's got your customers and your prospects and anybody that's done business with your company, they are all there in your database. If for any reason you ever want to sell out or exit someday, you can do that. Somebody gets their database along with it. It creates an extra intangible value. So get a CRM system. Not just you're collecting that data during the holiday season, but a CRM system will keep you in touch with them throughout the rest of the year. And how will it do that? It's going to do that because you are going to be providing these people content for the rest of the year. You are going to be looking at these people that came into your store and say to yourself, you know what, this is crazy. Because they came into my store or they came into my place of business, they've got reason. They're interested in the stuff that I sell or the products that we have. And what I want to do is I want to keep in touch with them. I don't want to be jamming sales promotions down their throat or offering deals and discounts. I want to be helping them. I want to educate them. Think about what you do. I don't care what products you sell, you have a specialty. And that specialty, it contains knowledge and information that you could be doing to help people in your community. So every month, every other month, can't your customers or prospective customers be getting an email from you? Signing up for an email service like Constant Contact or MailChimp or MyEmma, excellent, well-known email services, and believe me, there are many other ones that are out there. They're so inexpensive. Constant Contact alone is about $50 a month for like 5,000 emails. I mean, really, a great service to have. And what do you do with an email service? You're sending out emails to people who have opted in, who have said, sure, send me your newsletter or your information. And I don't know, every once or twice, one or two things in an email of pieces of advice. Something to educate them, information about the products and services that you have, not to sell them, but to explain what they do and how it can help them make their lives better. So you want to have an educational thing that people are looking forward to getting your email. Now, this takes time to do. This is not something that's not easy to do. But you can start that now and build it through the holidays and get it going through 2016 and beyond. Hire somebody to help you do it. Even though it's $50 a month for constant contact, you still need to pay somebody, a marketing student, somebody from a local college or a high school who might want to come in and help you out and write up those tips for you. You give them the ideas and the content, they write it up, you approve it, and then they put it into one of the thousands of templates that these email services have and let them blast it out to the people that are in your database. The whole idea is that you're collecting information and data from those customers visiting your store or place of business during the holidays, and the idea is to keep them coming back after the holidays. You want them back in your store in January, February, March, and for the rest of the year. How are they going to do that? Well, instead of forgetting about you, they hear from you with good information and educational advice to help make their lives better so that when they think of buying something that you offer or provide, they'll think of you first, because they're hearing from you on a consistent basis. By the way, a couple of pieces of advice if you are going to be sending out emails, make sure no more than 2 or 3 items. Make sure that you've got a really good subject line, and make sure that you're sending it out to people that opt in only, okay, so you don't get in trouble that way. So emails are good. If you don't want to do emails, look at printing and voice and texting as well. I mean, these are like, for example, Vistaprint is fantastic, just like PrintPlace. It's about $1 a postcard for a really nice postcard. If you're collecting addresses from your customers, why not every month or every other month send out a postcard to the people on your list with a great photo or something of something going on in your store, some new product or service, something. People read mail. They really do. And okay, it's $1 a piece to do, but at the same time, if you put your effort into it, again, it creates that nurturing and keeps people thinking of you and coming back. I like voice shot, which is excellent. That is it's not robocalling, but it's for those customers that want to be alerted to certain deals or certain offers or certain programs or events that you're doing. Voice shot, you can just put people on a list through a spreadsheet, upload that spreadsheet to voice shot, and then it will send out a phone call to everybody on that list. The same thing with a service called Tatango. Tatango does it via text messaging. So, new generation coming up, a lot of people just communicating by their text messaging on their phones. So you can upload a spreadsheet to Tatango, type out your text message, and then it'll blast it out to everybody that has opted in on that spreadsheet. And finally, there is video. Both constant contact and a really nice little service called Talk Fusion offers video emails. So you send out an email to people that have opted in. You're not sending out a big video file along with it, but it streams the video through the email. So the person receives it, clicks on the button, gives a little tour of your store, gives a little hello from everybody in customer service, or some little product demonstration that's 30 seconds long or 2 minutes long. So another just great way to keep in touch. Remember, you're collecting data during the holidays, and then you're keeping it going through the rest of the year. Now, in addition to all of that, you want to be doing some education, right? You want to be nurturing. So consider during the holidays and before, internally, some in-store events, right? Maybe there's some way to provide training, to do some using the products. Maybe you have some guest speakers in or provide some type of certification depending on what you're selling. Get people in your store in groups, because remember, when people come with their friends, they tend to buy more. Offer training, offer content, offer those kinds of stuff. If you've got room to do it, you can then use your CRM database and all those other tools that I talked about to communicate those events and let them know that that's coming up. In addition, you can have some online events as well. Google Hangouts are fantastic. Google Helpouts and webinars. These are all really great places to go to do online events. And finally, make sure that you've looked at your communities, right, and you're up to date with there. Yelp is a perfect example of a huge, very vibrant community. Your store, your business, trust me, it's on there by somewhere. And if you started the site and it's on there and people are leaving messages or comments, you better be tracking that and responding to it in a professional way. The Yelp itself gets used by so many people, and it has such a reflection on your business. It really has to be as up-to-date as any of those other online search engines that I was discussing earlier in this presentation. So Yelp is absolutely something that you want to do. Okay. Oh, and then finally, and not, just to make sure that we don't forget. I like customers when we talk about, what we can do and how we can make customers better and, how to increase our relationship with them. People like to get stuff for free, right? So, that is just a given. Everybody likes stuff for free. So think about this year providing some services and things that can be done and given out for free. So before we get into that, let's just discuss at least first. Let's talk about some of the things that we've learned, right? You should have a mobile website before the holidays, right? Get yourself mobile and ready to go. You want to make sure that you have an online presence and store as soon as possible. You want to, where am I here? Oh, okay. You want to begin your advertising now. You want to upgrade your tech. You want to have a loyalty program. You want to make sure that you're keeping those holiday sales going all year long with the CRM system. In addition to that, you want to provide content now for the holidays. You want to educate and nurture your community. And you want to be like Santa and give gifts, which gets me back to the very last thing that I want to talk about, which is giving stuff away for free. These are some amazing and great sites and services that you can use to enable yourself to give stuff away. And let me make sure that you're aware of what some of these great places do. I love Amazing Clubs. What Amazing Clubs is that you can sign people up to give a gift that will then go on for the next 3, 6 months, or 12 months if you want. They sell everything on there, which means that for your customer of the month, for a customer who wins a contest, for your 100th customer of the day, whatever little promotion or thing that you're running, you can say for that winner, they're going to get a bottle of wine sent to them courtesy of my store for the next 6 months. And all you need to do is go to Amazing Gifts and give them that information of that customer and pick out the bottle of wine. And every month they'll get a bottle of wine sent to them courtesy of your store. Why is that so cool? Because not only are they getting the bottle of wine sent to them, so everybody likes wine, but they're reminded of your store every single time. They're like, wow, yeah, remember we saw those guys back in the holiday season, and I'm still getting this bottle of wine from them. This is awesome. We love those guys. It's just a really great way to nurture and stay in touch with your best customers and people that are visiting you. So I like Amazing Clubs to do that. Plastic Jungle has recently changed its name to Card Cash, but it's still the same. You can find it with Plastic Jungle as well. They sell discount gift cards. So, perfect example is, well, you can't really see me right now, so which is a good thing, but let's just say that I'm follically challenged, okay? I really haven't had a full head of hair in about 15 years, and yet somebody, what I thought was a friend, maybe he was playing a joke, gave me a $100 gift card to the hair cuttery last Christmas, $100 to the hair cuttery, okay? I mean, I have like 3 hairs on my head, so that wasn't a very good gift for me. I went to Plastic Jungle, now known as Card Cash. I sold that card for $50. Frankly, I would have given it away, but I sold it for $50. They put it up on their site, and they sell it for $75. So it's a $100 value. They make $25 on it. I got rid of it for $50, which I was thrilled about, and the user gets a $25 discount. Get it? So if you go to Card Cash or Plastic Jungle, you will find tons of gift cards with $100 gift cards that you can buy for $90, $80, $20, $75 to all the major brands and chains out there. Buy a bunch of them at discount and give them away to customers, right? Run customer contests, favorite customers, visitors to your store, or I don't know, give them away to employees as well. People like free stuff. My Card Maker is a great little application to help you do manual cards, just like greeting cards and stuff that get sent out. I love underneath it where it says timeshares. I bought a timeshare about 8 years ago for about $5,000 in Hawaii, Mauna Loa, Hawaii. It's a Marriott type of timeshare. It's part of the RCI network. Very nice. Never been there. Never been. I pay a couple $100 a year. For all I know, the place is under 8 feet of lava. But I've never been there. Every year, I take that timeshare and I trade it in on RCI. That's the Marriott site or the travel site that manages all of that. And I get a week in Vegas or a week in Orlando. Because Hawaii's great, but most people in the continental U.S., let's face it, Vegas and Disney is pretty cool. And then I give that week away. I give it to a customer every year. I've given it to charities for silent auction. I've given it to employees. People like getting free stuff. Great promotion and sales idea for the holidays is to give away a free week in Orlando somewhere, particularly when it's cold in December. And finally, people talk a lot about different credit cards and credit card programs. The one that I prefer the most is Citibank's It's the Thank You Rewards program. And the reason why I like it is because you take your Citibank card, you purchase everything on it for your business, everything. You connect it to your personal card, and you purchase everything on it personally. Make sure you pay it off every month, and you don't have to pay any interest. No fees for the card. They rack up points, tons of points, and you can use those points for your own personal travel, which is great. Or the point of this is to trade them in for certificates and gift cards and other types of gifts that you can then give away to your customers. So, okay, I mean, you've already spent the money. This is like extra money that you didn't even know you had. You might as well trade it in and take the points, buy some stuff, and give it to your customers. So for every $100 gift that you give to a customer, it could turn into $150 worth of purchases from that customer in the future. People like free stuff. All right, so let's wrap things up, and one more time go over what we've learned as we prepare for the holidays. You need to have a mobile website before the holidays. You got to make sure you've got an online presence or store as soon as possible. You need to begin your advertising now and consider some of the mobile advertising services that I suggested earlier so that you can generate foot traffic into your store. Upgrade your technology, your point-of-sale systems, your payment systems, your EMV-compliant chip cards that you need to have, and then don't forget the low-tech stuff as well that we talk about. And for God's sake, don't touch your customers, but give them the ability to touch your products, okay? In addition, have a good loyalty program so that after the holidays, people keep coming back, and keep all those sales and data and everything in a good CRM system so that you can then reach out and provide content for after the holidays, right? So now you can get those people, in your CRM system, and then you can be sending them emails or postcards or voice messages or text, whatever they opt in for, to keep nurturing them during the holidays and after the holidays as well. And you want to continue that education and nurturing. You want to provide partnerships maybe with other people that are nearby you as well, events that are in your store, all these different things to keep coming back. And finally, like I said earlier, if we're talking about the holidays, be like Santa and give gifts away. People like getting free stuff. Maybe it's a week with a timeshare. Maybe it's just gift cards at a discount that you're buying and giving away. Maybe it's something that you got through your credit card points like Citibank, Thank You, Prefer. Love all that stuff. Give stuff away. The holidays is all the time to do that, to keep your customers coming back and coming back for more. So with that, again, thank you to Can Capital, and thank you to Andrew and BizLaunch for hosting this webinar. We have time for questions, I know. So, Andrew, let me turn it back over to you and fire away.
So really great comments and really great information, Gene. Thank you very much for sharing some of those great resources. And we've got quite a few questions, so I'm going to go through them slowly, and hopefully you can answer them all for us. But the first question is, what about social media? What should we be doing over the next few months on social media? Do you have any tips for us?
Yeah, I do. Social media is a really good question because it really depends on the kind of business that you're in and whether you're social media ready. In other words, are your customers there on social media, right? So for starters, if you have determined that you have customers that you can attract either on Facebook or on Twitter or on LinkedIn, then that's great. If you're the kind of business where your customers aren't there, then my recommendation is to ignore social media. But assuming that you do have customers that are there, social media place to go to if you're usually consumer to consumer, like B2C, not B2B, but B2C, the best social media place to be is Facebook. And my suggestion is, if you want to make yourself a presence on Facebook, you need to hire some part-time help that will make sure that site, first of all, gets updated, refreshed, and looking current, is providing lots and lots of content through that site, including content that you're providing or links to other places, engaging with other users, and also start looking into some of the Facebook ads and buy buttons that are available now through Facebook that will allow people to buy stuff directly off your website, or at least attract them to your website. So my recommendation is, again, if you are business to consumer, Facebook is the place that you really want to be. You're going to have to make some investments in that area to make sure that you're there where you are, but now's the time to do that so you're ready for the holidays.
Excellent. Another question we've got here from Sarah. A lot of businesses seem to be having this online portion and an offline portion. I mean, do you recommend that a lot of the retail stores have a pickup service so customers can go online, order their products and go and pick up in store? Is this something you encourage?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's funny, Andrew, and also Sarah, who asked the question. We have a really cool little pharmacy next to us who is struggling to compete against the Rite Aids and the CVS's, but they've got a part of their store a really, really nice area that do personalized gifts and chocolates that's really, really popular. And I always scratch my head and wonder, why doesn't this guy have an order in advance? I mean, you got to go in and sit there and wait while they wrap up the gift, and it's a whole production. And I think sometimes that drives away customers because it's too much of an adventure when they could do most of it on from home. In this economy and this is society now, it's quick. It's on demand. I need to get in and I need convenience and make my life easier. If you're selling the types of products that you think people would enjoy, ordering in advance and just running in and picking them up, that's a service that you really have to consider providing. Because if you're not going to do it, your competitor is going to do it first. And again, in this society in 2015, that is what people are looking for.
I think a great answer and a very important part of our growth in our businesses. Here's a question from Sandy. So Sandy's really interested in designing some gift cards for an automotive store. Do you have any tips on who she should go to? You gave the example of giving away gift cards, but what if she wanted to design her own gift cards? What supplier do you recommend?
Well, there's lots of good suppliers that are out there, and it really depends, Sandy. I'm not sure if I just couldn't get from the question whether or not you want to do the design or you want to have them designed for you. So the best place that I would look at is going back to that Elance and Guru sites, which again are called Upwork, because if you're looking for a good designer to work with you, that's a place where you will find a really, really good independent contractor that will work with you, that specializes in design and can work along with you to do those kinds of gift cards. If you are looking for anything else, try My Card Maker. I mentioned them earlier in some of the free stuff to give away. Besides actual cards they give away, I do believe they do design for other types of things like gift cards if you're the one that wants to do the design. One final thing I can also say as well is that Staples, believe it or not, offers their own in-store design services. So, if you've got, gift cards, like a blank gift card, and you want to create designs for them, if you bring it into Staples, they will connect you with one of their designers who you can work with together to put together the designs. And again, you can do that for profit. Whatever Staples is charging you, you mark it up if you're in the business of selling that stuff.
Excellent. And here's a question from Lynn. She's got an online business. Are there any great apps or tools that she can use to communicate with people that come and buy in a store? What apps have you seen that are really useful to increase sales and help customers buy more online?
Well, I mean, as far as people buying in your store, they're already in your store, so I guess the only thing you're trying to do is to drive them to your mobile site. I'm not really quite sure I understand the question. If you're just trying to get people that are there in your store to come to your mobile site, really the best thing you can do is to have your mobile site or your regular site up and running and be advertising inside that store. They can check us out online.
Yeah, so Lynn has an online business, so she doesn't have a brick-and-mortar store. She's specifically online.
Oh, okay. So if she's online, and I'm sorry, Andrew, so are we looking to attract more people to her online business?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Then that answers that. Yeah. So one of the best ways that I would recommend is through advertising online. So depending on where your market are and where your customers are, consider Facebook ads, consider Twitter ads, consider if you are marketing through Facebook, like I said earlier, implementing buy buttons so that when you're sending out those ads, people can actually just click on the buy button and buy directly from your store without even having to go to your site. The same thing with Twitter ads as well, two really great vehicles. And again, when we're talking online too, I still go back to some of the mobile ad sites I mentioned earlier, like Adagogo and also DemandForce or LocalVox, which are really great local mobile advertising services that I think as long as people are out there, remember they're searching, they're looking for you, they want to be able to hear about you and find you, they will find you that way through those mobile ads and then drive that business to your store.
Great idea. So Rossio's got a veterinary hospital and would like to implement a loyalty program. Any ideas? I'm not really a customer of veterinary hospital, but any ideas of how we can develop a loyalty program?
Well, if my daughter actually works at a vet hospital. She's starting to be a vet. So I'm actually becoming not an expert, but I'm definitely becoming well versed in how vet hospitals work, and I get it. And by the way, happy National Dog Day for you as well, running a vet hospital. As far as a loyalty program, some of the ones that I mentioned earlier are the ones that I like the most. Affinity Solutions, for example, and Belly. And if you go to their sites, what they are all about. By the way, the other one is Shopkick. Does the same thing. But if you go to those sites, when you are people visit your vet hospital, or your veterinary store, you basically have it's really like a thing in front of the register saying join our loyalty program, and it'll give a specific site for your loyalty program. They will have to go there, whether it's on hopefully their mobile phone, but also they can just do it from home as well. And the way it works is that they create a user ID, which is then tied in with your point of sale system at your place. And it works with just about every point of sale system. So it's ringing up like whatever that they're doing. So the more that they bring their dog in for a checkup, it'll be tracking that. And after the 6th checkup, the 7th checkup is free, for example, or they get points that they accumulate for the number of visits that they have. So if you use those loyalty programs to sign up, very easy to do to get your business signed up on it. You have to connect it with your point of sale system, which again is not very difficult to do as well. And then you got to promote it to your customers and say to them, look, come on in, and you have to sign up on your own. You go to this site, and then you'll see more and more people using it that way. Great way to keep people involved and keep them coming back.
Great answer. I'm always amazed at your depth of experience. I didn't think you'd have any experience in veterinary hospitals. I'm really quite impressed with that. So Amanda says she's got a balloon art and face painting business, and she started a fun social media contest, but she wants a lot of people to participate. And so the competition ends in January 2016. What are your thoughts on about having long campaigns like that? So she started now, but it only ends at the end of January. Is that a good strategy, or should she maybe cut back the end date of this competition?
So first of all, you're asking different people's opinions. So and you'll get different people's opinions. So you're asking mine. So solicited, I don't like it. I don't like long campaigns. I think we live in a world that is very attention deficit disordered place. So people expect like immediate sort of gratification. So my feeling is that, and again, this is this is no knock, but I'm just saying I think you would get more bang for your buck if you were doing shorter, more targeted campaigns. Maybe once a month that you can do. Will take a little bit more work, but at least it gives those people, once they enter the campaign, then the campaign is over. Now you've got a whole slew of people that might want to enter the next campaign, and the next one. And it just, instead of dragging things out, you promote your campaigns both beginning and end. So when the campaign, when the contest is over, you can then congratulate the winner, promote and talk and blog and Facebook, whatever you're doing on social media, about the winner and the last campaign and all that, and then show the next campaign. So what that does is it gives you the ability to create conversation about the first campaign, both before and after, right away, and then it shows a history, like, oh, she's running these campaigns and these contests, and she seems to be good. There's winners and whatever, so this is for real. I think I'll enter the next one. It will attract more traffic and more interest going forward. I mean, don't you agree, Andrew? Are you a favorite?
100%. Yeah, I like short campaigns because, I think if a campaign's only going to be ending, or a contest's only going to be ending the end of January, I'm probably not inclined to participate because the time is too long. So I like regular, shorter campaigns. I think they'll be more effective. So I agree with you there, Gene. Some great questions and some great answers. A couple of final words for us, Gene, so we could end off this webinar. Great topic, lots of learning. A couple of final words for us.
That's my final words to this, everybody. It is, we all are, because we're running businesses, we're very busy, and it's very tough for us to look ahead. And the smartest business owners I know, the most successful, are always looking ahead. And I can tell you now, it's the end of August. The retailers, the shop owners, the merchants, the people that are selling to consumers, even though it's August, the smart ones are thinking about Christmas right now. They're thinking about the holiday season. So if you want to succeed, you got to be always looking those 3-4 months ahead. And all the things that we talked about today, these are things you should be jumping on sooner rather than later.
I think some great advice as a retailer once in my life. I think the earlier you start planning, the better. This webinar is the appropriate time. Take some of this really useful information that Gene shared with us today and get out there and start working on your campaign. You know, it's not too early to start working on the holiday marketing, and I think if you're well prepared and you're well planned, I think it's a great opportunity to have a great year. The economy's doing well, or much better than it was last year anyway, so I think it's a good opportunity for small businesses over the next 6 months. A great opportunity for you to grow your revenue. Thank you very much, Gene, for sharing with us your experience and knowledge once again. Thank you very much, Can Capital, for participating in these webinars. I love companies that get involved with small business and support small business, and I really appreciate it. And most importantly, thank you very much, everybody, for attending this webinar today and participating, and use this information, build a very successful business, and we'll be happy for you. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon.